Well, hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Ben, and today we are going to we are going to proceed with our previous tutorials on Ionic. And today it's just a brand new tutorial. It's a very interesting day because we're just going to learn more concepts on the app, on developing your mobile app using Ionic framework. As I said initially when we were starting this tutorial, is that this is a very basic tutorial for very basic beginners. And once we are done with this, now I think going forward it will be me coming live and doing tutorials and teaching how to build an e-commerce website, an e-commerce app, and chatting app, a dating app, etc. Things like those ones, yeah. So I'll try my best. I'm really busy, but I'll try my best to make sure that I complete the remaining part of the tutorial so that now I can start coming live. So today, let's start by learning about forms. Like 90% of your app, or let's say 50% of it is you're collecting data from the user, you're processing it, and then you're displaying back to the user, or whatever it is that you do with it. So today I want us to cover that part. We won't be saving this information to the database, but I'll be showing you how to collect this information. Then later we'll proceed, and more advanced parts of this tutorial will be on dealing with APIs, with Ionic app, and other more stuff that will be coming along the way. So let's begin by looking at forms. Now, because we're using the Angular route, Ionic forms, or forms that we're going to use in this Ionic framework, are more of Angular syntax and everything. For those who are familiar with Angular, they know that we have Angular has two types of forms, and that is reactive forms and what we call template driven forms. And today we're just going to deal with template driven forms. What happens is that template driven forms, everything resides most of the time in HTML. So we might end up having a bulk HTML file because it has a lot of code. But again, it's much easier when we're starting on this tutorial. Then as we now proceed to our next ones and the others, we are going to learn about all these other template driven, what you call TDF forms. Today is TDF, but the next one we're going to do is reactive. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing we'll do is we'll go to our app.module, and we will import a module called forms module. And once you bring it in, you go to imports and also add it on your imports, as indicated here. The next thing is we'll go back to our home.html page. Actually, that's all we need to do. You can go on your own free time and then study and do that part, like understand the basic components of validation, events on inputs, etc. And yeah, I know you are going to really understand a lot, but these are things that we'll later cover because this is Ionic in Angular. But yeah, I don't want to overpromise you guys because, well, I've been quite busy, and it's good. It's a good thing to be busy. So let's start. So let me first of all rename the page to form, because this is actually what we're going to deal with. So today's form. I've enabled autosave. If you go here, you see I've enabled autosave on my VS, so I don't need to hit save. So every time I type anything that is qualified to be a save, this stuff will save automatically. So the first thing I need to do is maybe I'll create maybe let me say a h4, and I'll say login. Let's just collect information about login. I'll then give this a class of Ion text center, so it can go the center. Remember I taught you about Ionic classes. Yeah, then we'll have our form. No action, nothing, just like that. Just say now validate for now. That. Then because we want to deal with organized input, so I'll have Ion item. I want to organize everything inside an item, and a minute, Ion item, correct. And then here I'll have lines, so I don't see those lines below it, so I'll say none. Right. Then we'll have our label, so we have Ion label, and here we have maybe username, correct. Then I'll just have position floating. Just want to go very fast because I've just stolen some time. Yeah, so Ion input input correct, and this input will just have a few things. I won't touch anything more for now. I'm just duplicate this, copy and paste it several times down here. So you'll need to have a username, we have password. Actually, let me change this from login to register so that we can collect even the users, the register. Username, password, and let me say username, email. Email, and let's have password here. And actually I have built a complete app on these tutorials that I'm doing. So there's an app on Play Store. I think I'll leave the link in the description. Just go there, download the app, play around with it, look at all the topics. This is an ebook, but that one is on sale. So just go download the app and view the lessons to do them yourselves. Probably, yeah, learn something. So this is what we have. We have input for username. So here we'll probably type John Doe. Username is Jaido. Email is jaido@example.com. And then password is probably we need to change that input type. So input type, because this password, we'll have password. So we can have the disk types. So perfect. Yeah, all right. Now the next thing is we need to have also a button. So we'll have iron button. This button will just say create account, and we'll have expand ahead total this. So let's have block. We'll have color. Let's have outline. Let me see how outline looks like. No, it's not good. Not good at all. Actually, is it color what? Yeah, let's have it like that. But also let's have some class of iron padding so you can have it different smaller size. Perfect. I really hate that. Yeah, let's remove it. Perfect. Now I want every time we enter these details here, I want us to see them when we click create account. We want to see all the details that we've entered on the form. So what I'm going to do this time is I'll go to my home page, home.ts. I'll create a variable, and this will be an object. So I'll create like user data object, and this will contain the type. In TypeScript you must define the type. So I want it to have any, because it will have string and numbers at the same time. So have any. Let me just close this so I'm not using it. The next thing also, I think I should separate this guy so you can see clearly. Yeah, instead of it looking like it's, yeah, like that. So you have username, email, password, and all that. Down here, probably here, yeah, I can display the object that we have. So I'll say user data. And now what I want to do is I want to access I want to pass a pipe there, Jason. So perfect. So whatever we'll be entering here, we are going to see it real time, including the keyword. So now in Angular we have something we call two-way data binding, and that's when we introduce what we call ng model. Now in Ionic, yes, we still have the same, but we use a format for two-way data binding. We call it banana in a box. Okay, so we write ng model, and here we'll pass the name, which is now first of all the object, because we want the name to be inside the object. So we'll say is username, is user data dot then username, and then you'll also have to give it a name attribute, and this name will have username like that. I hope it's clear. So we proceed again, do the same for this one. So banana in a box, and here we have ng model, and what we want to have there is user data dot email, and outside here we have name attribute with email. I mean, as you can see, there's a pattern here. So you have email, which is the same here, and then you have username, which is the same, but here we have the user data, which is the same object that we had created on this side. All right, now we are binding. We have already doing this one. We've already bound this user data or whatever will enter here with whatever we have on. Let me call this a model class. Okay, should have a model, but that is on Angular, but on this one we don't need that for now. Just need what we have right now here. So let's proceed. So banana in a box and ng model correct, and here we have user data dot password, and then we have a name attribute with password like that, and then here we don't touch anything first for now. So what we've done is we've sorry, I think I have a problem. Username password ng model username no, okay, user data dot password name password type password correct. I think reload this and see what the problem is. Invalid character set to repeat ng model is not all right. Yes, there's a spelling mistake here. Perfect. So whatever you have here, every time we enter that data, it is retrieved real time. So if you come here and click and say maybe John Doe, that's the username. As you can see here, we have the name being written. So what I'm going to do right now is to have these. I'm going to have these inside this so you can format it. Let me bring it inside there. And yeah, once it's done, we'll be ready to go. So I'll come back here and say hello world. No, sorry, this is John Doe. Email is jdoe@email.com, and password is 12345, whatever it is. And now you can see the data that we're entering here. It's forming an object, and that object is a JSON object, and which is what we had created right here, as you can see. So we are making progress. Now the next thing is, I want when you click create account, we submit this data to another point. Okay, so how do we do that? So we'll create, we have other methods of creating a JSON, I mean an Angular form attribute. So you can have user data here, and we say ng form, which has no problem, and we go that route. But nope, today this is not the route we're going to use. We're going to use our own just for today. Now adding that attribute allows us to now be able to validate and do our stuff on this tab, on this form. But today is not about validation, it's just basic. I want to introduce you to everything that you need, first of all, as speed as we can, and then we're going out to more advanced topic like validation, submitting, saving this information, and doing like things like that. So but I want you to be able to at least have a ground. From here you can start building your own apps. Okay, so let's start. So here, so saying, we'll create a click action, and when we want to click this, we want to submit the form like that. So what we need to do once we create this is a function. We go to our home.ts page, and here we'll have a submit form or submit method like that. And now guess what, we have access to the data that user has entered on the other end. And how do you access it? So let's say we'll console.log log we have this to access the object, and then we have the data like that. And now if we go back here, wait for it to reload, and then you come here and type John Doe. I'll delete that one. So let's have jdoe, and then email is jdoe@email.com, and 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 like that, and then create account. Once you click create account, you can see that that data is submitted, and you're able to console log it here to our browser console, as you can see. So basically this is how we do this, and then now the next part is basically you can validate from this end. You can use the ng form validators inside here when it's pristine, touched, everything like that. You can just do that, but that one is for later classes. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to subscribe, remember to leave your comment. I'll try my best to do a video so that we can finish this series as much as possible. Again, go to the description below, get your get a link to the app, go to the app and download it and read ahead of me, so that next time I come you'll be knowing exactly where we will be going. So thank you very much for watching, and let's meet in our next class. Thank you very much.